How you doing, Sag? Let's see what we got for you. Do a Celtic cross. Sagittarius. Knight of Pentacles on its side. You feel like you're waiting on an offer that's not coming in, or you're deciding you would like to, you're mulling over if you would like to give an offer. There's an offer in the air that's not yet given. Somebody has been thinking something, mulling it over. Do I want to give it? Now, Knight of Pentacles is movement. Knights are movement, while pages are messengers. But the thing about the Knight of Pentacles, they're like the slowest of the knights within the tarot. They're the slowest, because they take forever to give an offer. You know, they have a critical eye on things. They make sure if it's right for them. They like to mull things over, see if it's good for them or not, and blah, blah, blah. Like you feel like you're getting old and nothing's happening, that kind of stuff. Or maybe you are. Maybe you're unsure and you've been in this kind of indecision, mulling things over. The thing about the Knights of Pentacles, though, although they, they are a movement, and, they're not considered like the stick around kind of type, they're around for a good time, not a long time. The Pentacles in particular, the Knight of Pentacles, they're actually the most reliable of the rest of the Knights. That's why they're slow to give an offer, because when they give an offer, you want to make sure that it's worth it, So, what crosses you? King of Swords. This is King of Swords. Could be an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. Now, King of Swords, he's someone who's very detail-oriented. He pays attention to details. He mulls over situations. He's more cerebral than he is emotional, and he's like that lawyer type. Like, he reads every single fine print. Like, he is efficient. He doesn't waste a lot of time. There's not a lot of gray area within his life, because he sees things logically, and he thinks critically about everything, and he is very extremely perceptive. The King of Swords is someone who can control their communication to the point of, where they use their communication as like something cutting wise, or they know when to hold back, or when they speak, it's something that is going to be, they don't speak a lot, but when they speak, it's because it's something important. This is someone who is extremely intelligent, and, higher learning kind of person, Why does the King of Swords crosses you? Slow to give an offer. Maybe you're waiting on a King of Swords, or a King of Swords wants to give an offer to you that's slow coming. Or maybe you're thinking about giving an offer, and what crosses you is communication. King of Swords. Foundation. 10 of Pentacles. Maybe you haven't spoken to this person in a while. Maybe they're trying to mull something over before they come towards you, or vice versa. They're slow to give an offer because maybe they are getting finished with something in particular. King of Swords is also somebody who knows when to cut things out when they need to, who doesn't mess around with a lot of games and tomfoolery. If it's not on his agenda and on his plan, and if it is generally not beneficial or not a good idea, and logically it would be something that is against his logic and values, he's going to make a cut for it. The swords could also be communication as well. Maybe somebody's waiting to speak to you, and that's what's been holding things up, that you haven't spoke to this person in a while. Now the foundation is Ten of Pentacles. This is family wealth, legacy wealth. This is generational wealth. This is on that foundation. Maybe the causes of the situation, your physical and emotional needs, plus your subconscious desires. So, your foundation, you're not just going to give out any kind of offer willy-nilly, because, you know, you are trying to be really grounded. You're trying to look at all of the details and see if something's even really worth it or not, because right now you're working on something. You're working on generational wealth. You're working on building something, a business, or, you know, but there's something, and because you are working on something, you have a goal and a direction. You don't want anything to come in between your progress to mess that up. And perhaps you've had people who did that in the past to you, and that's why you are trying to be so careful now, which is important, because maybe this is a project that you've been trying to get off the ground for a really long time. And God knows, like, ton of issues that always come up that delays your progress in some way. And now you're being careful, because now you're trying to put the effort into building something. Now, the past, conflict, competition, fighting, maybe you had a lot of people within your environment, family members, friends, who are like drama kings and queens. Like, they just like to start a bunch of crap. They like to compete with you. They feel you as some kind of competition, you know, like they kind of like just a bunch of people who just have a ton of drama. They're high conflict in general, starting a ton of fights, talking crap about the other, you know, pinning one against the other, all of this. And it's like every time you brought somebody into your space, they kind of just threw you off track, and you're not about to have it anymore, because you're done dealing with this BS. You might have had to move away from a lot of relationships from your past, family members, friends, past relationships, people that were not there for your highest good. Now, this is also your creative talents and abilities. You have a quick mind, Sagittarius. You are incredibly smart. You may have air within your chart. Cancer, Aries. But what I'm saying is that they know it. They know how smart you are. It's like when they want to try to argue with you, have some kind of debate, and you're like, okay, dude, I'm all for it. You know, I'm ready for this. Like, the only reason I am debating with you is because I know a little bit about it, you know? And like I said, you don't speak unless it's something that you know. And you know what I mean? So it's like, maybe some people in the past, like, they try to like, they assumed that something about you, like they had some kind of certain perspective of you, and they allowed that perspective of you to think that that was the reality, which it wasn't. Like, they could just compete against you because they think that they're smarter, be condescending and rude because they think they're better in some way and stuff. But then the moment they say some bullshit, you call them out on it. And then you're like, well, I could argue this out. No problem. That's definitely a benefit that you have. And Sagittarius, you're all about higher learning, philosophy, spiritual learning, higher learning in general. Your goals, your conscious awareness, the best that can be accomplished at present. The Fool, you're starting off something new, feeling hopeful and optimistic and trusting in spirit. You feel like you are following a divine path. You're being called, and you are trusting spirit to move you along because you feel this is the right path for you. You're jumping in head first, and you don't know what to really expect from it, but you got the sun at your back, not a care in the world, and you don't know what to expect. But you want to be careful. Now, the Fool in this dynamic, it's not only, it's kind of jumping in head first, but you're not really looking at where you're going. It's not like you're just so optimistic. This person is like not paying attention. So be careful. It's important to pay attention to your surroundings, anyone, if you're going driving or something, if you're moving along, pay attention to your surroundings. I feel like it's important to do, not to become too hasty in making a decision and jumping in head first. It's important that you really assess whatever situation that you're going to involve yourself in the future. And I feel that you know this because you're starting off something new, and this means a lot to you. It's something that is like resonates with you like deep down in your soul. And that's why you're trying to guard it, because you have a goal. You have a goal to bring a labor of love into existence, and you're taking that time out to do that. And you are cutting people out who constantly stand in your way from all of your goals and things that you would like to achieve, because they have done before. Perhaps they try to come back around and you're like, no, I'm not having it, because I know what's good for me, and all of this BS, this ain't it. This isn't good for me, and you moved away. And now you're more careful, because before maybe you were trusting in the past. Maybe you did jump in head first as a Sagittarius. You're all about the adventure too, the journey, And sometimes, that fire energy, it can lead you to impulsive decisions. Now, I'm not sure if this is really impulsive, though. I feel like this is kind of planned out in some regard, that this is something that you've been working on for a while, or at least you had a certain idea for a while, and you're definitely moving ahead. You're moving forward, and there is movement. So this is Cancer, but it's moving forward. You could have a vacation, a trip within your future, or somebody is coming towards you, or you're leaving towards somewhere. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're Sagittarius. You're all about the trips, the, new places, new people, adventure. Let's see. Oh, yeah, moving away. This is you. You're moving away from something that was high conflict. And you're ready to build something new. Your foundation. Ten of Pentacles could also mean, it is family wealth and legacy. It could also mean a possible ending of family wealth and legacy. Maybe there was some kind of divorce and moving on, cutting out, or some kind of breakup of a family situation, a family business or something. And now you're moving ahead away from it because it was something that that didn't serve you, whether it's toxic friends, family, business partners, or whatever, or marriage. like a divorce or something. And now you're starting off to build something new. You're moving towards something, away from something more like, you're moving away from something that is emotionally unfulfilling for you. And you're moving towards something that is more emotionally fulfilling. Now, see you walking away from all of these cups that you leave all behind. It's like, I'm so done. Like, I don't know what to expect. I have dreams, I have hopes, but whatever I leave behind, there's nothing else that I have left to stick around and try to salvage anymore. There's nothing left for me anymore. So now you're moving away. I see that people see you as someone who is abundant, someone who's like independently, okay, taken care of, someone who has all that she needs, someone who can take care of themselves, someone who is kind of doing their own things, working on their own business, taking care of themselves and others. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is like the Empress, but the difference between an Empress is that she doesn't have an Emperor, right? So it's like, yeah, it's that step before the Empress. But you have everything that you need, and people see you as someone who is definitely independent, someone who can take care of themselves, someone who is abundant and beautiful and, someone who has a lot of gifts. You're working on something really, really big. And I see a lot of pentacles here. And people see you as abundant. And even though you don't feel like possibly you are having some kind of slowdown of funds or that is coming in, or a slowdown in money. I know the CARES Act has stopped. Maybe this is a loss of that the CARES Act, a loss of some kind of funds. And now you're kind of putting more energy into something. And now you really know that, now if you were out of work and you were on unemployment, you're like, now I just got to put my butt in gear and actually start doing something. Or maybe there's a trip up ahead of you, maybe a business trip, or you're coming back from a business trip. I'm not sure. But they see you as someone who's really shiny, beautiful, and abundant. I like that. I like that a lot. Your hopes and fears of attaining the goal, the lesson to be learned blocking your development. That's the Eight of Swords. You feel stuck. You hope to be stuck. And you fear to be stuck. You're afraid of... why is this your hopes and fears? Your hopes and fears of attaining the goal, the lesson to be learned, blocking your development, a lack of movement. You let your fear hold you back. And your fear is the thing that stops you from progressing. And maybe there is a hope that, why would you hope to be stuck and blind? Why are you unconsciously holding yourself back? Maybe because you're afraid of success in some way. You're afraid of going for something and not attaining it. You're afraid that something is going to change. Or why would you hope to be stuck? Maybe you feel like moving away. I don't know. Maybe you wanted to stay. Maybe you wanted to stay in that situation. Maybe you wanted to leave, but you needed a reason to not move forward. And now that you don't have that reason to move forward, now it's like really you have no one else to put that on except you, that you have to be more of a self-director possibly. Maybe you wanted to work something out that didn't work out. But something that you didn't want to leave, but something that you weren't really happy in the first place either, though. You know what I mean? It's just a stagnant energy. But the outcome, this is blocking your development. You're letting your fears and anxieties hold you back. This is self-doubt. This is a lack of progress. This is a lack of effort, lack of movement. This is because you are questioning yourself and your abilities. The outcome, what you'll gain from the experience, the reward, the quality or tool that will help you achieve a breakthrough. You are breaking away from these self-confidence issues, and that's kind of what I feel. Maybe this past situation of a high conflict people that, you know, it affected your self-confidence in some way. It made you question yourself and your abilities because you've always had these people around trying to compete with you, trying to make you feel bad about yourself because it made them feel better about themselves. And when you have like that critic in your ear all of the time, it does affect you in some way. And when you start to kind of do your job and stuff, you start to think that, you know, maybe I don't make the cut. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe it was a fluke. But you got to pull yourself out of that. And I feel that you will, because this is a new start. This is a new beginning. This is something very fortunate. It's just that, you know, you just have to get out of your own way and don't hold yourself back. Because even though you're worried, maybe you are having some kind of trouble with money right now. You've lost some kind of funds. Maybe you did get unemployed in some way, or this is losing of some kind of funds or money, this CARE Act, or, you know, and you feel like things are slow going. Even though you're moving forward, there is movement. And you're trying to build something new. And I don't want you to question yourself, because I see amazing things coming in. Sagittarius, this is your, you know, this is your card. The Wheel of Fortune. I mean, this is Jupiter. This is luck. This is a new cycle. This is a whole new situation. And it's a very auspicious one as well. It's going to bring you great fortune and happiness. Now remember, when it comes to, sorry, my neighbors, but this is something very auspicious, something amazing, you know? You just have to get out of your own way. I swear to God, it is the craziest thing sometimes with my neighbors. It sounds like somebody is rolling outside of my apartment with like a moving wheels back and forth a million times. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, this is good fortune. This is a whole new cycle. And it's something very lucky, very auspicious. And just remember, with every great beginning, I mean, it's a wheel of life, right? Every up definitely comes down. Every beginning has ends. This is actually amazing, though. This is a whole new paradigm, whole new start to something. And you're working on it, putting the work in, planning, you're waiting for your harvest. Seven of Pentacles, you are waiting for the fruit to come in. You're waiting for the harvest. You are putting the work in, planting seeds. You're trying to build something amazing. You're afraid of being stuck in this situation, but you got to work through that fear, Sagittarius. And you got to believe in yourself, because you definitely have what it takes. This is definitely karmic. This is something that was definitely meant for you. All right, sorry. you're waiting for your harvest to come in. You're waiting for the benefits. And even though you don't see the payoff yet, you're still willing to jump in head first because you feel like this is destined for you. Like you feel like definitely this is your life path. This was something that is meant for you. And I feel like it is. And you will see the benefits of it as long as you put the work in. And I think intuitively, you know this is meant for you. Because this is something that you've thought about doing for a very, very long time. Time is on its side. You feel like nothing is going forward. That you feel like there's not enough time, you're running out of time, or this is going to take a lot of time. Maybe you got to put in more time. It's going to take time to get the benefits that you want, but as long as you put in the work, it's going to usher you through that door of your idea of heaven, of milk and honey, out of abundance, everything that you need. Okay. Advice. Okay, I think that might be done. Interruptions. You feel stuck. Don't worry, you're moving forward. So tribe here is on its side. You feel like time is running out. Maybe time is running out in some way. It's time to put the work in, and it is going to take some time to get what you want out of it. You need to put more work in. Yang is action. This is doing. This is giving. Maybe you feel like this lack of confidence is stopping you from putting the work in. You never feel like you're doing quite good enough in some way. Or there's self-confidence issues that is getting in your way. But you know what? Keep putting the work in and it'll get easier and easier the more that you come about it. You haven't had a lot of support within this situation, and you're not going to have a lot of support going forward, and maybe this is why you haven't been putting the work in like you would like to do, because there's just so much things that you have to put in. There's so many responsibilities that you have. It's the day-to-day and trying to get things done, and okay, you don't have a lot of support. This is the thing that's holding you back. Stopping you from putting the action, and on top of your lack of confidence that even when you get the chance to do it, you feel like it's not good enough in some way. But keep on working towards it and keep putting the work in, because it will get you to where you want to be. It's just a matter of time, and it'll take time. Don't get discouraged. Oh, you're going through some heartbreak and loss. You're feeling rejected. And this is some deep wounds. This is feeling not good enough, like you don't deserve it in some way. maybe you feel like you were never really accepted within your family group, friends group, and you felt like an outsider a lot because of the lack of support. And it affected your confidence in a lot of ways. And that's something that you have to heal from. You got to realize your gifts. And there's reasons why you have these gifts. That universe came and gave these gifts to you so you could bless the world with these gifts towards humanity and share them with the world and those that need them as well. And it's about time that you use it, Sag. You are good enough. And you're going through some kind of loss and or feeling rejected in some way. Yeah, you're feeling rejected. But know that the fact that it takes a lot of work to get there, that's actually part of the gift, because it's allowing you to build your skill and into honing your skill. And you've been rejected in your life many times, and that's why you became so staunchly independent, and you don't want to be held down in a way, because in some ways you felt isolated in that regard. So you never really had a problem going lone wolf, you know, because it's kind of like you reject them before they reject you. You feel like they don't really accept you, you know, so you don't accept them, and if you don't allow other people to come in. And, you know, it's important to allow Spirit to gift you. I feel like there are gifts that is coming your way. You do have gifts that you were instilled and given, and it's time that you utilize them to help yourself and the world around you. This is karmic. This is a divine gift. And it's like your north node. This is karma. This is your direction. This is your path in life. And you have to put the work in, because, you know, when you're meant to do something, I know that it'll start feeling like it's eating at you, and you'll start feeling resentful, and you'll start feeling not good enough, like you're not doing enough. But then it's like a karmic wheel that, you know, you are not putting the work in because you feel like you're not good enough. But when you do put the work in, you feel like it's not good enough. And this is something that you need to try to heal from, you know, and allow people in within your life, and all because you've had a bad history with people who weren't there for you, or people who didn't support you. It doesn't mean that everybody's like that. You just haven't found your tribe yet. And your tribe doesn't always mean by your familial blood family. It means someone who feels karmically tied to you, you know? Someone who understands you, someone who sees you. And allow people to come in and give them and yourself an opportunity to see if they are that person for you. You're definitely going on a spiritual journey right now. You're trying to listen to yourself and your intuition, and maybe your intuition is very peaked at the moment. You could be kind of withdrawn and depressed. Maybe it's something in the alignments because it's not moving, and maybe this depression is the thing that kind of slows you down as well. Maybe that's something to look into too. And it's okay to seek help in counseling, and maybe if that's needed to kind of work this out, because I mean, I definitely advocate for that. I mean, I have my own, you know. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I think everybody should have somebody to talk to and work things out with, you know, at least some kind of outlet, you know. And perhaps you're going through some kind of depression, but don't worry, Saggy. I think things are going to look up. It's just important to keep your focus. But that's what I got for you, Sag. Love you lots. I will feel free to like, share, comment below, donation box below if you feel moved to do so. And definitely, if you could like this, it really helps the algorithm. And yeah, and I'll talk to you later. All right, love you lots. Bye.